Alrighty guys, it is Qaaman here today, and I am joined with Thundershot and Blackenfist, yes, my two original video partners. And in today's video, we will be giving our own reaction to the screw attack fight between Kirby and Majin Buu. Now, we all have a lot of different opinions, and as a matter of fact, I most recently uploaded a reaction video with rhyme style and duct tape. I'll post a link in the description so you guys can get my initial thoughts, but Blackenfist and Thundershot also wanted to share their thoughts on this topic, so I decided to do it again. So in today's Thought for Talk, we'll be talking about various things ranging from the speed, ranging from the attacks that they used, and everything including that fight. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into this video. So, Blackenfist, would you like to start us off by talking about the speed problem that you had?
Well, I just want to say, even before I say anything, I want to say that I know nothing about Kirby, and this has nothing to do with the fact that he won. I don't know whether Kirby would have won. If he won, that's fine. The reason I got a little upset was not because Majin Buu lost, was because I felt that some of the things they said about Majin Buu were inaccurate. So, whether Kirby would have won or not, I don't really care. And this is the same thing I said with my Goku vs. Superman. I don't care who won. I just care when they get stuff wrong. Anyway, one of the things that did bother me was the fact that they said that Majin Buu had never fought an opponent that was faster than light. Now, I can understand why they said this. They said this because they're basing these numbers off the data they gathered when they did Goku vs. Superman. And in that video, they calculated that Goku was below the speed of light in Super Saiyan 3. Now, the reason they calculated these numbers this way was because in that video, they calculated Goku going across Snake Way. So they got those numbers based on when Goku traversed Snake Way to get back to Earth. The problem, obviously, is that Goku is way faster, even in his base form, than when he went across Snake Way. Now, I can understand why Screw Attack used this moment. It's probably because it's the only moment you can actually measure Goku's speed at all. But that doesn't change the fact that these numbers are wrong when they come to when Majin Buu's around, because obviously Goku is way faster in the Buu saga than in the Saiyan saga. Goku has been able to go faster than the speed of light, definitely, by the time he's a Super Saiyan 3. But one other thing that I really want to get across is that these characters have been fighting at speed of light speeds, at least, since the 22nd World Tournament. Goku and Tien had a fight in which the audience could not see them. This also happened in the 23rd tournament. Goku and Piccolo disappeared completely in this fight. You gotta understand, guys, that if we were seeing these fights in Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z in real time, obviously we would not be able to see them. Dragon Ball uses something called cinematic time and abuses the hell out of it. Meaning that when you see someone throw a punch in Z, you're not really seeing that punch in real time, because obviously if you were, you would not be able to see it. Now obviously Dragon Ball isn't the only series to do this, but you gotta understand that some of these fights we're not seeing in real time, and the fact that the audience in the world cannot see them, that's an indicator to how fast they're going. In the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, Piccolo did his special beam cannon, and in that instance Raditz was able to dodge it, and Piccolo said something to like, well, he's faster than the speed of light because that special beam cannon was going at the speed of light at least. So, and that's the beginning of Z. Now, I also had another problem, but I guess I would want Thundershot to come in here too.
The line following that is Goku telling him, "You must be the second fastest being in the universe because you're not the fastest because I'm faster than you." Just another example of, light being broken in Dragon Ball Z. And like you said, like your points, you had it even before he ran on Snake Way, and there's so much. Goku, just a reminder for everyone, Goku that ran Snake Way was the Goku that died in a Raditz fight. Now, technically, he died to Piccolo, but Raditz would have killed him if Piccolo wasn't there. So, you have to come from Raditz, who is a Cyberman, who is way weaker than Vegeta. I mean, just all the way down to the Buu saga. That's absolutely nuts to think that. Also, another thing I want to point out is that I went back to the Goku Superman Death Battle stat page, and they actually have Goku's final speed at being 2.5 billion kilometers per hour, which is actually a little bit over double the speed of light. Now, the conclusion that we came to was that the way that they did this is that Super Saiyan 4 Goku was used in the Superman battle, and Super Saiyan 3 Goku was the one that was used in the Majin Buu fight. So that was how their complications were. But like Blackenfist has already pointed out, their speed is so far behind where Goku's actually at. Goku's at least double the speed of light in the Majin Buu fight. So, but that was the speed portion. Then, do you have anything you want to say, Qaaman?
And obviously, this is a problem because they said that Buu had never faced an opponent who is close to the speed of light. But I actually want to bring up another problem, and that's the way Majin Buu died. He died by going into the sun. Now, I know for a fact that these death battles, when they show the fights, they're not like the actual things, but these, like the actual fight, that the way it's supposed to be taking place, these fights are just based on the data that they have gathered. But the fact that Buu dies by going into the sun is a huge problem, because that means their data is wrong. Buu cannot die by going into the sun, because even if he was vaporized, he can literally regenerate from the air, from the smoke, from like the little tiniest particles that he can regenerate from. And this is proven because when Piccolo, because when he fought Gotenks and when he was blown to smithereens, and even when the little tiny pieces were burnt off, he still was able to regenerate literally from the smoke that came from the bits and from ashes. Exactly.
Now, see, I can see how that would be their go-to to get rid of him, because what's the closest thing? I mean, obviously Kirby's not going to be able to make a spirit bomb, so what's the closest thing they have to that is the sun. Kirby being able to knock him into the sun. But yeah, I totally understand.
Well, I mean, I could, if they could not have a clear winner, then it would be a draw, right? If they couldn't have Kirby. Listen, I know nothing about Kirby. Maybe Kirby would have won, but the fact that he needed that Buu was killed by using the sun is inaccurate. That in itself is inaccurate.
But then again, I mean, if you compare it with him being destroyed by the spirit bomb, you got to remember when Buu was, if you send somebody in the sun, it's so hot that it can essentially like vaporize your whatever smoke you have and just essentially just wipe that out, right?
First of all, we don't know. See, now we're talking about something we don't even know. We don't know if, first of all, I doubt the spirit bomb is as hot as the sun. I don't even think the spirit bomb is hot at all. But that's just me. The reason I say this is because, I mean, come on, like the spirit bomb is in such close proximity to Goku. It's been in close proximity to Gohan. I mean, like.
Now, if their idea is that the planet burst helped kill Kid Buu, I would like to point out that Kid Buu has actually taken his own planet burst before, and he lived. He blew up, the whole planet. He was standing on with it, and then he lived, and he was fine, just for the record.
By the way, I just want to say, guys, the reason the Spirit Bomb was able to kill Majin Buu was because it was able to kill him on like, I almost don't want to. It was able to kill him beyond a physical level. That because the Spirit Bomb is made of such good energy that it was able to kill literally Majin Buu's bad energy. I know it's not really specified really, but Majin Buu is pretty much magic. He is magic, meaning that he can regenerate in terms of in his physical form. He can almost regenerate indefinitely. Like if you destroy him physically, he will still be able to regenerate. It doesn't matter what you do to him, because literally he's magic. The properties of Buu have not even been completely seen or explained. Really, they have not been completely explained in the series, and they probably will never be explained in depth ever, because he's literally just magic. And because of that, that's Toriyama's way of doing whatever the hell he wants to do with Buu in terms of him and all these crazy transformations and him regenerating and stuff like that. So you got to keep that in mind too.
Well, before I say my my story on this, Blackenfist, you wanted to point out really quick, because there are going to be some people in the comment section who are going to say, well, we're being inconsistent because why didn't a guy like Trunks fly faster than the speed of light in the Buu Saga? What would you like to say your response to that?
It's pretty much an inconsistency. this has happened before too. I mean, this has happened many times. Toriyama has said that he had found it difficult to keep characters trapped in certain places because he gave them so many abilities that it became really hard in of itself just to do that. So he had to create time some other way. I mean,
All right. Well, I guess the first thing that I had a problem with that we didn't really cover too much was endurance. Now, when Kirby was able to absorb Majin Buu, number one, it was an inconsistency how Kid Buu came out of Fat Buu, because that's not supposed to happen. It's the evil Buu that comes out of the Fat Buu that absorbs the Fat Buu that becomes a Super Buu, and when you pull out the Fat Buu, then you get Kid Buu, which sounds really complicated for people who don't really know, Dragon Ball Z as well. And I know the Buu saga kind of messed up with all those transformations, but that was just one small inconsistency I had. The other thing I had was endurance in regards to Kirby sucking up Buu. Now, you gotta think that Majin Buu was strong enough to hold back a Spirit Bomb, but yet, although he can hold back a Spirit Bomb, he can't hold himself back from being sucked in by Kirby when Kirby can't even absorb really strong, really heavy guys. Now, granted, Majin Buu's not that heavy, but still, his ability to resist things is so insane. I didn't think he would be able to be absorbed by Kirby. Now, I was looking through screwattacks comment sections, and there was one guy who got a lot of thumbs up on his comment. He said, "Oh, DBZ fanboys always get pissed off whenever people scale down the fight so that it's more balanced." But even in a more balanced scale down, Kirby shouldn't be able to affect Majin Buu in the same way due to Buu's regeneration abilities.
Dude, I mean, he has I could see, he kind of has a point though. They had to, it feels as if there's almost no other way other than they had to severely scale down Majin Buu to even make this fight possible, and then somehow Kirby still wins. I guess that's the problem that I have with it, because I feel like maybe it's hard for Majin Buu to kill Kirby, even though I don't think it would be. I feel like his punches should annihilate Kirby, but let's say Kirby can absorb a lot of damage, right? Can't throw the Planet Burst at him, he'll eat it. Can't Chocolate Beam him in his face, he'll eat it. There's multiple times in this fight where even Majin Buu, Fat Buu, is grabbing and holding Kirby from behind him, and that's a Chocolate Beam to the ass, and that's Majin Buu eating Kirby to me. And to me, my main problem is I see no way that Kirby actually kills Fat Buu or Kid Buu. And, I mean, Majin Buu definitely has a way to kill Kirby.
I really didn't want to talk about who would win this fight, because I really don't know anything about Kirby. So because of that, I'm out of it. But the way it seemed to me, just from the video, of the knowledge that I got from Kirby from the video itself, and what I know about Majin Buu, because I thought some of the things I said about Majin Buu is incorrect. It would seem to me that the fight would have been a draw, because from the way they were building up Kirby and Buu, to me it seems that I don't see how Kirby is going to be able to kill Buu, and I don't see how Buu is going to be able to kill Kirby. So I guess that would be a draw. But there's one thing that does interest me, because I don't know anything about Kirby, so I don't know. Would the Chocolate Beam affect Kirby?
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. I don't know the properties of Kirby, so would the Chocolate Beam be able to
the Chocolate
affect
Beam's not
Kirby?
something you can bounce off. I mean, whether Kirby has properties that can do that or not, the Chocolate Beam's not something you can bounce off. It makes it...
Because that, to me, is a possible win for Buu there. Hits him with the Chocolate Beam.
Yeah, no, and then, like I said, in the fight, he throws
a
a Chocolate Beam, and Kirby eats it, and Kirby's gut is infinite or whatever. So it doesn't, affect him, and I can understand that. But there were multiple times, like I said, Buu was holding Kirby from behind in the midst of beating the crap out of him. I almost laughed a little bit as soon as the fight started, because the very first thing that happens is Kirby just starts going all out on Majin Buu, and Majin Buu's like not even reacting to these. And like I said, I guess again with their whole speed stats being off, I can see how they would be thinking that was actually possible for Kirby. But Kirby, when he's not on his little like star platform thing, I don't know, whatever that is, that thing that actually takes him places in, yeah, the warp star, that's what it is extremely, extremely slow. Like, we've never seen him in any of his games be able to do any more than, a heavy jog or maybe a full sprint, but it's never been anything that you could consider fast. So that was the part that, like, I chuckled a little. That was the part that, like, I chuckled a little bit as soon as the fight started.
Now, I just want to make a final point in regards to intelligence and one more thing about endurance. Now, one thing is that you've played the Kirby games, right? I've played Nightmare and Dreamland, and I've played Smash Bros. Those are the only games I've played with Kirby, to be honest. What about you, Thundershot?
I have played pretty much every Smash Bros. That's ever had Kirby, and then I Epic Yarn. I think I played Epic Yarn a little bit,
Okay.
but that one's not. I mean, he's Yarn in that one, so that one's not doesn't count for anything.
The point I was trying to say is that Kirby can be killed by like falling down into a pit of spikes.
Oh my God!
If he gets hit six, and if an enemy hits Kirby 6 times, he automatically dies, which means that since Kirby's endurance is nowhere near, that means he can't take the hits. Even if you scale down the power and the speed, he can't take a lot of Buu's, I guess you could say, attacks like that, because he can't physically just take in those hits. Now, one last point that I also wanted to point out about his intelligence. Now, I like how they completely skipped over the fact that Super Buu was the one who was supposed to come out after, you know, Fat Buu got mad and spit out the Evil Buu, which would absorb the Fat Buu. Super Buu is slightly more intelligent than the other forms of Majin Buu. Now, he became even more intelligent when he absorbed Gohan and Piccolo and Goten and Trunks. But, I mean, regular Super Buu is not that smart. But I just found it funny how, like, they chose Kid Buu because he's, like, the most insane version of Majin Buu. But they said, oh yeah, Kid Buu's the most dangerous. Well, technically he is the most dangerous because he's crazy. But if they really wanted to like put characters at their best, they should have chosen Super Buu. But that was just my honest opinion, and that was another small problem that I had with this.
Yeah, Majin Buu punches Kirby downward over a spike pit, and Kirby dies. I didn't even think about that. That's nuts.
Yeah, well, essentially, I think that's basically it. I mean, we have a lot of thoughts. I said different things in my other reaction with rhyme style and duct tape. You can check that one out. This is the second time I'm doing this video. I'm really grateful for having Thundershot and Blackenfist in this Thought for Talk. We're gonna do a lot more.
Can I get some parting words?
Yeah, sure.
I had to break my rule of don't watch Screw Attack anymore because it's not worth it to watch this once Blackenfist and Qaaman invited me to come on and do this video, but I'll go back into that. My final verdict for me, if you're going to watch Screw Attack, watch it for the fight, watch it for the sake of the action, but don't take anything that they come up with as an actual result of something that be considered, accurate. That's me. I watch the fight, I'll watch the fight again because, they draw really good fights. It's an entertaining thing to see, but don't ever look at the results of something as like this would actually be the case. They throw up quotation marks data that should work out in these fights, but as we've seen in a few fights from them before, that's not at all.
And yeah, I completely 100% agree with you, Thundershot. And listen, guys, and the reason you shouldn't take these guys seriously is not because like I think that they're incompetent. I don't think that they're incompetent. I think that they did like the best job they could. It's just that when you're trying to do the things that they're trying to do, it almost doesn't work, because as in the case of a Dragon Ball Z, they're trying to measure Goku's speed, but that's impossible. You can't measure Goku's speed, and the only time you can is when he's going across Snake Way. And they do all these ridiculous numbers, but at the end of the day, it's when Goku is in the Saiyan Saga going across Snake Way. That will be a very depreciated number. So yeah, I understand what they're trying to do. I understand that that's the only time you can measure Goku's speed, but at the end of the day,
they're
it's
gonna
inaccurate.
overlook stuff. They do these fights so often that they go from different universe to different universe. They don't have enough time. Like, we have watched Dragon Ball Z time and time again. They have, probably skimmed through the facts of Dragon Ball Z and, picked up what they could, but they don't know. They haven't, I doubt they've read the manga. I doubt they've actually gone through most of the anime. And it's just, they're going to overlook stuff because they don't have time to watch the entire series and catch every detail about it, like we have. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm cutting them a break a little bit, but just don't ever really take their final results as something that would actually be a real final result.
Well, I'll say this for fun. Next Screw Attack video, should they hire one of us to work on the script for Dragon Ball Z characters?
They would sit you down and they would be like, Dragon Ball Z character can't win. Go. I say that Vegeta one. It was, I'm salty. I'm sorry.
I just have one more quick thing to say because Rhymestyle pointed it out in my other video. they've used Dragon Ball Z characters in 3 fights. Shadow versus Vegeta, Goku versus Superman, and Majin Buu and Kirby. And 2 out of those 3 fights, they've had characters being beaten by using the sun. And Rhymestyle felt that that's kind of a cheap technique, that they always use the sun to, like, you know, justify their cause, which I thought was a pretty interesting point.
Well, we can't kill a Dragon Ball Z character. What do we do with
Well, I mean, at least with Superman, it made sense. With Superman, it made sense because he actually, once again, I know nothing about Superman, but I know that he gets his power from the sun, so at least that makes sense. Here, it does not make sense at all because the sun would not be able to kill Buu. It literally would not be able to kill him.
And
How?
Boo's
I mean,
own
like,
blast pushed him in there, and we know he's stronger.
I mean,
than that.
like, first of all, the blast, yeah, Boo's own blast wouldn't be able to kill him because all it would do is just blow him to smithereens. He would regenerate. The sun wouldn't be able to kill him because, I mean, listen, we have never seen Boo in really hot temperatures. We don't even know if the sun would even melt him. For all we could know, the sun might not even have no effect on Boo.
Well, this is probably going to be an even longer debate if we were to continue, but I'll just say this one quick thing, Blackenfist. Boo was able to hold back a spirit bomb. I think that justifies his endurance, and I'm sure we would all agree with that, right? Holding back a spirit bomb? I mean, that was insane. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was nice to have the 3 of us back again. And please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And remember, as I always say, to have a great day, guys.